My name's Bergen. I'm honestly just your normal ass kid, but today I live the lifestyle that most people dream of, from the cool watches to cars to high-rise apartments to living in my dream city. At 14 years old, 15 years old, I was grinding a normal minimum wage job like anyone else does in high school, stocking shelves. Now at 20 years old, I'm making over $300,000 a month in pure profit, doing nothing but running ads from my laptop and my phone for businesses. But I basically built the life that I once dreamed of for myself. My journey's been hard as hell, and I honestly didn't have it easy, but I'm here to kind of take you guys through that journey today. And I'm not here to do this in a bragging manner, but I'm here to put it into perspective of what's realistically capable of happening for you if you do the same and actually lock in. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through how I started, how that led me into getting scammed for a bunch of money and falling back to where I started from, to then regaining it, and now living this cool, lavish lifestyle that you see me posting online. Let's get into my story. Chapter 1, from small town to 10K a month. You ever get that feeling where you feel like you're stuck, but you know you're meant for more? That's exactly how I felt growing up. I knew that I was capable of doing more. I knew that I was destined to do more, but I just didn't know what that more was. I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do with my life, besides the fact that I wanted to be rich as fuck and be able to live my life however I wanted. Started off pretty much just how it does for any other kid, where I sat in my parents' basement and played Fortnite for literally 15 hours a day. This was like prime COVID time. My dream was to become a pro Fortnite player, like you see all the other people doing during that time. People like Clicks, or Booga, or any of those people who were making a bunch of money playing video games for a living. I wanted to do the exact same thing. And that realistically was my first little taste of online money, doing wagers and making a little money here and there from playing against people on Fortnite and winning, but I would also lose money as well. But then came around high school, and the next hot thing was crypto and NFTs. And I was actually doing pretty decent with this. I started grinding, I started learning. My main focus was just to obtain as much knowledge as I possibly could. And throughout that process, throughout those 6 to 12 months of me grinding in the crypto and NFT community, trying to get whitelisted for projects, which is basically where you can like buy a project for its mint price and then resell it for higher. I actually ended up making my first ever couple $1,000s in that space, which was funny because then I used that money to actually go and take a trip to Miami, which is where I live now. And when I came here for that trip to Miami, it was for an NFT event. I came out here, I think I was 16 years old at the time. And ever since that trip, the first time I ever touched down in Miami, I knew that this is where I wanted to be. This was the lifestyle I wanted to live. This is genuinely what I wanted to make a reality for myself. That trip honestly changed my perspective on life as a whole. But eventually the market kind of shit itself, and all of my gains from that space pretty much went to zero. Throughout this whole period of time, I was still working my 9-to-5 job, getting a couple $100s per week from stocking shelves and helping customers at a retail store. I actually worked in the sporting goods department. It was a pretty shit job, but it, made me a little money that I could then go and invest in the stuff that I was trying to do online. So my life, while everyone else around me was going out, partying, going to football games, having fun, just being an average high schooler, my life was pretty much wake up, go to school, go to the gym, go to work, and then work on my business outside of that. It was a lot, but it definitely paid off looking at it now. Long story short, nothing during that time really clicked for me where I started making good, consistent income. But I was learning a lot. I was obtaining skills, which is the most important thing. And I knew throughout all of that, a failure wasn't a loss. It takes X amount of fails in order to achieve your first win. There's more so like a wake-up call. I saw all these other people doing it, even people my age at the time, 16, 17 years old, making money online, and I figured, why can I not do the same for myself? I know that it's possible. I just realized that I had to work at it long enough and find exactly what was going to work for me. So after all of the crypto and NFT trading failures, I decided to get into dropshipping. Dropshipping was pretty much the same story. I launched like 4 different products. My first one ever was actually these little unique lighters, where I managed to do my first like $100 in sales. I think I got like 3 sales in total, which I want to say it equated out to like $76 or something like that. Then my next product was these stupid like gym bracelets that sold like 4 units. I did like $100 in sales. And then my third product was these shiesty masks. They were viral at the time. They're like the Yeet ones. Some of you guys might know what I'm talking about, but I started selling those, and that was actually the first time I'd ever experienced running ads. I ran ads, filmed my own creatives for those products, and they were profitable. I was making a little bit of money. I saw my first couple of dollars with e-commerce and knew that it was possible. So from there, that store ended up shutting down like a month later, and in total, I think I did like around $7,000 in sales, which wasn't bad for my third store ever. That is then what led me into starting a clothing brand. It was more of like a trend at the time to actually go and start a clothing brand, and I was learning all of this information on how to do it off of TikTok. I had little experience in e-commerce and using Shopify and setting up a website and running ads, so I figured, why would I not be able to make this work? That's exactly what I did. I started my clothing brand. I started posting daily on TikTok about the brand that I was building, which everyone from my school was seeing at the time, and nobody ever really said anything to my face like, oh, what the fuck are you doing? But I know damn well people were saying that behind my back, and I actually heard from a lot of my friends in high school at the time that they heard other people saying it behind my back, but I didn't let it get to my head. I knew that I was at least trying to do something with my life, and I think that that's the biggest thing, is not caring what other people think, and knowing that at least if you're trying to do something, you're better than those other people because you're trying to do something that's bettering you, and they're not. They're only hating because you're trying to make a change for yourself. Mind you, I grew up in a very small town where shit gets spread around quickly, and stuff like that isn't normal. The norm in a town like that is, go to high school, graduate, go to college, get a degree, and then go and work a job for the rest of your life. So when someone was trying to do something to escape that matrix, it was looked at as like, yo, you are like cringe. But like I said, no one ever had the balls to say shit to my face, so I still pushed through. I ended up doing $2,000 in sales on my first drop, which, mind you, isn't a lot, but at the time it felt very rewarding. I realized that, there were people who were interested in my brand and wanted to purchase from it, and I realized that it had potential. So then I moved forward with my second drop. I kept posting on TikTok, I kept marketing myself, trying to build a personal brand and build my overall brand, as well as just make good products to sell. My second drop ever, I actually decided to run ads as well, which resulted in me doing $25,000 in sales on this drop, which at the time I was riding that fucking high, bro. I felt like I was rich as shit. I felt like a trillionaire, bro. Then fast forward all the way towards like my fifth drop, where I had done $200,000 in sales. Throughout that process, I moved from high school into college to then dropping out of college and continuing to scale my clothing brand and moving to Arizona. Now, chapter 2, how one decision made me $340,000 and basically freed myself for the rest of my life. Now, looking back on this one decision probably changed everything for myself and allows me to be where I am today and allows me to be a millionaire at 20 years old. I realized that while I was running ads for my clothing brand, it wasn't ever me doing it. I had an agency who was doing it that I was paying $2,000 a month. So I was paying this person to run my ads $2K a month. I realized, why can't I just learn the skill of running ads myself? I can save $2,000, I can have control over how well my ads perform, and I'm gonna learn a whole nother skill that'll definitely benefit me down the road. Turns out it benefited me a lot quicker than down the road. I said to myself, I'll just learn the hard way and I'll keep all of the profits. I fired that agency, I started running ads for my own brand, and that was the best month I had ever done with my brand. I realized the skill of running ads was not something complex at all and anyone could do it. So I figured, why would I pay that agency when I could do it myself and then start my own agency and offer it to other brands? I had that light bulb moment. I could do this for all of the other brand owner friends that I have, all of the other brand owners in the space that I know, and I could make a whole nother income off of doing this. I ended up landing my first few clients when I did my outreach to a bunch of brand owner friends that I had, other brands that I had just seen around, and was collecting cash up front before even doing any of the work for these brands. Signing clients on $2,000 retainers, $1,000, even $500. I was basically collecting whatever I could get so that I could sign clients and, one, make money, but two, also get inside of their ad account and get more experience hands-on. I think it was like my second month ever trying to do this, and I had made $10,000 profit from doing so. And this is exactly what led me into now being in the business model freelance brand scaling. And I know you're probably wondering, what is it? Does it work? How do I start it? Does it make money? But we're gonna get all into that in just a little bit. Now, chapter 3, dropping out and locking in. After realizing that I could make a solid $10,000 to $20,000 a month profit with freelance brand scaling, I realized that there was a decision that had to be made. Mind you, this was when I was in college at the time, and that decision was, do I drop out of school and go and do this full time and really go chase my dreams with it? I realized that it would take a grind, it would take little sleep, it would take sacrifices. So that is exactly what I did. I dropped out of school after going for only 2 months. College didn't feel like it was for me at all when I realized that I was making $10,000 to $20,000 a month profit but still had to go and sit in a lecture. I basically told my parents, like, yo, listen, I know I haven't told you guys this yet, but I'm making really good money doing all of this stuff online that I've been telling you guys about. I want to try to do it full time, and I want to drop out of school. I genuinely think that I can make this a reality, and I think that I can be very successful doing this. And of course, them being good parents and wanting what's best for me, they were a little hesitant in being like, yeah, go ahead and do that. But they were still supportive of it. They were like, listen, we understand that you're a smart kid and you'll figure it out on your own, and we want you to do what you think is best for yourself and go and do whatever makes you happy. And I was like, well, this is what's gonna make me happy, and this is what I want to do and what I think I can do with my life. So I sat them down, I told them that, and then the next day I dropped out of school. Not only did I drop out, but I moved all the way across the country to Arizona. I realized that in order to actually be successful, I had to get out of that little small town matrix and move to somewhere where there was much more inspiration, motivation, and just more opportunity. My first few months there were definitely a little rough. I didn't really have much for friends, kind of sat in a dark room from sun up till sundown, and did basically nothing but worked on my business. And that's the side people never really saw about me, was that it was kind of depressing. It wasn't very fun by any means, but it was what needed to be done in order to get me to where I'm at today. I had to sit through that period of just constantly grinding and focusing on building my business so that I could get to where I am today. And like I said, people don't see that. They just see the flashy lifestyle now, but they don't understand what it actually took. But that's why I'm making this video, I guess. After my first month making $10,000 profit back when I was in college, to fast forwarding probably like, I don't know, 7 or 8 months later, I had my first ever $100,000 profit month. I was 19 years old. I'm 20 now. It's a fucked feeling to know that you're making that much money at such a young age in such a quick amount of time. But nothing matches that feeling, and I wouldn't trade that feeling for anything. I then started building out a team and realizing that in order to actually scale higher than that, I had to start delegating some of these tasks out and building my business further, going from kind of that freelancer to building out a full-fledged agency. Then I moved into a penthouse with all of the friends that I had kind of met along this way in Arizona, Fredo, Pierre, all those guys. But this was all because I figured out freelance brand scaling, and from there it was game over. So what truly is freelance brand scaling, and why is it one of the best things that you could start in 2025? Businesses need more customers, and you are the one that helps them get more customers. It's that simple. You learn how to run ads on different platforms like Meta, TikTok, Google. You offer that service to any type of business that would ever need it. You drive sales and traffic through paid media, so literally just running ads on those platforms for these businesses to drive more traffic to their business. And you get paid a fat percentage or a monthly retainer. If you become the person who understands it and knows how to use it, you become so valuable to these businesses. There's an estimated 4 million online businesses in the US alone, and there's only going to be more and more businesses that are made. That's why the opportunity now to get into freelance brand scaling is huge, but in the future it's only going to get bigger. So you learn the skill now, you master the skill in a few months, and then in a few months so many businesses are going to need you and be in demand of your service. But now that you understand that, let's get back to the story. Once I realized that I was making really cool money and doing abnormal things as a young kid, I realized that I could show this lifestyle and the thing that I built for myself to other people. I started posting here and there on YouTube, and it started to gain some traction, so I started to take it more serious. I realized that I was inspiring so many young people out there and just people overall, and I wanted to continue to do that. It felt fulfilling to me, and it was fun to just create fun content. And I realized that also posting this content would bring more traction to my freelance brand scaling business and get me more clients. So now I have a waiting list of clients who want to work with me, and my agency is doing better than ever. It's allowed me to buy multiple of my dream cars, a Lamborghini Aventador, a BMW M3 Competition, a 992 Porsche GT3 RS, live in this amazing high-rise in downtown Miami, and be able to basically do whatever the fuck I want with my life. I'm able to help my family, buy whatever I want, go wherever I want, have basically no worries other than continuing to do what I'm doing. And that's because I actually decided to take action in making my life a better life. I took a risk on myself, I bet on myself, and I made it happen. Even after failing so many times, I stayed consistent and I kept doing what I knew I needed to do. The biggest piece of advice I could give you is stop thinking that you're not capable of doing it and realize you're no different from the people who have done it. You need to realize that you need to invest in yourself, whether that's spiritually, mentally, financially. In order to become the person you want to become, you have to do the things that are necessary. You have to make yourself a better person. The 1% of people are the 1% of people because they do the things that the 99% doesn't do. So chapter 5, this is how you actually start. Number 1, you think you need money or a business to start. You don't. Number 2, you think it's too hard to start. It's not. Number 3, you think you're too late. You're not. It's early. So you know what you need to do now, but here's what I would tell you to do to be able to copy my success. Number 1, learn the skill of running ads. Number 2, get proof that you know how to run those ads. So sign your first couple of clients, get them results, boom, you have proof. Now you may ask, how do I sign my first couple of clients without having any sort of results? Use different things like free trials, irresistible offers. Go and check out my other videos on my channel or the free training link in the description. Number 3, outreach daily to sign clients. Number 4, build a portfolio of your results, of your case studies, of your clients that you have. You can then use that to document and drive leads who come to you rather than you going to them. Number 5, get paid out. Get your retainers, get your rev share, make your money. I definitely still have big challenges in my life, but those challenges are what have matured me and allowed me to get to where I am today. So don't be afraid to take that risk. That's all I got. I appreciate you guys watching. Like I said, check out the links in the descriptions. Make sure to subscribe, make sure to like, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.